I think our team continues to work and continues to, I think, improve and get better. Been a little bit unique here the last 10 days or so, just because we've had some different guys in and out. So it was really kind of the first game in a while we had a full complement of players outside of Cameron. And then obviously I understand Minnesota rested most of their guys to begin with. So, what you're trying to do is look at, how we played, things that we were doing. And, again, I think we're trying to play to an identity. I think we're doing good things on both ends of the floor. The biggest thing I think for us is just maintaining a level of consistency over a period of time. But overall, I thought it was another game that we can look at and build from and try to improve upon.
Looked like Steven and Russell were really clicking early on in that first half. I mean, I think Russell assisted on his first 5 baskets. How important is that connection, particularly when the three-point shots aren't dropping like they weren't in the first half?
Yeah, I think it's important. I felt like going through last season, their connection continued to get better and improve, and they've got a really, really good connection in terms of understanding each other. And Russell, obviously, when he gets downhill, it does a remarkable job of finding him. And Steven, with his athleticism and his length and his size, he kind of has an understanding of what Russell's going to do, and they've been able to kind of feed off of each other. But no question, I thought to start the game, both of those two guys in pick and roll was really effective for us.
What did you think of Steven's conditioning, considering that he missed 2 weeks of games? And it looked like there was one point in the first quarter when Ennis was about, he actually signaled over to y'all to get Ennis to come in.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Steven's fault or Ennis's fault. When you have a lower extremity issue you're dealing with, it's hard to maintain that conditioning. So we're going to have to try to help those guys, lift up their cardiovascular. And I really thought coming into camp and then even in camp, I thought Steven had progressed pretty well physically. But I think when you have that ankle injury like he had, you're going to lose some conditioning. So I think he probably felt it. But again, I think we were able to give him a good solid number of minutes tonight. That should help his conditioning. And I think as time goes on, because Steven's a hard worker, he'll get in better and better shape.
What went into the decision tonight of Samajh over Ronnie?
It really wasn't a decision on that. I mean, it was more of just really trying to give Samajh an opportunity to play. He really hadn't had very much of an opportunity to play. I knew I was going to play Ronnie some in the second half, and just wanted to give Samajh a chance to go out there and play.
How'd you feel about the way Samajh played?
I thought he did some good things. There's some things that he did very, very well. Some things he could probably get better at, like everybody. I do think Samajh is a competitive guy, and he's a really, really good defender. He can guard multiple positions. But I thought did some good things. There's some things I think he can learn, and I think the other thing too in playing him was even though with him being in the D-League and being overseas, sometimes a little bit different, I think, for a guy getting in an NBA game, and he hasn't had a chance to get much of that experience, considering this is our third NBA team that we've played. I wanted to kind of give him an opportunity to play a little bit.
You had everybody back tonight, and you played Russ 31 minutes. Was this a little bit more of a regular season dress rehearsal of sorts that just... Or did you?
Yeah, I think for him it was. I think for him it was just because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to up his minutes, and I knew with Steven we weren't going to be able to up his minutes. So like everybody on our team's like at a different place physically right now. I think, knock on wood, Russell has been healthy, and going through training camp we've been able to rest him in Tulsa, so to speak. Only played him 15 minutes, and then gave him a larger number of minutes tonight. That's what he wanted to do, and I think to get his rhythm and to get his conditioning and those things. But like, for example, with Steven and Ennis, we weren't going to put them at that number of minutes. So for us, it really wasn't our team together. It was the first time we kind of played together, but, even Andre, I thought, to a certain extent, is trying to get himself back. So Steven, so's Ennis. We've got some guys working through some things right now, but I think for Russell, because he's been with us from the first preseason game to now, he hasn't had any situations where he's had to miss time. So he's, I think, pacing himself of how he sees best.
How do you feel about the pick and roll coverage?
Our pick and roll coverage? You were paying attention before, huh?
Yes.
We did okay. We had some we had some better moments. We had some better moments. That's what you're looking for. We try to chart that stuff. So I'm hopeful from our last game to this game to be better. From the bench, it appeared to be a little bit better. Our coverage was good. We had some breakdowns in the backsides of our pick and rolls. We gave up some layups and gave up some things on the backside, 3-point shots that we got to clean up. But I thought the coverage was actually pretty good today.
With Steven on the floor, did you notice guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of our guys are trying. Like Ersan's really trying to communicate. Joffrey is. Domas is. I think they're all trying to communicate. They're all trying to get better, and that's the one thing when you have these games like you did against Memphis and Dallas, you can come back and show things actually on film, and then you can point things out. And this has been a great group in terms of work with their attitude, and they're always eager, I think, to get feedback and then try to improve on that feedback.
Billy, why were you able to hit on so many backdoor cuts for layups tonight?
Well, I think that's part of the things we want to do on our offense is we want to create some cutting and moving, and we're doing a better job. It's like some of those reads last game were there that we didn't see. That's what I mean by us getting better. There's certain things that we're doing that we didn't do maybe a game before where they're seeing an opportunity to make some different reads. And I think that our cutting and our moving based on how the floor was spaced, guys made some really, really good cuts and generated some offense for us.
Do you have an update on Alex's hip?
No, other than they told me he had a hip flexor. I don't know, his anything more than that.
How much has the addition of Domantas Sabonis helped your ball movement?
I think he definitely helps. The one thing that's helped also with him is, with his ball movement, he can go down inside in the post and he can score. You can throw it to him down there and he can generate offense. So he's got a really good skill level. And, you saw that one move he put on the floor and changed direction on the break and got fouled. He's a good passer. He sees the floor very well. So, him at that power forward spot, it definitely generates, some open opportunities with him with the ball in his hand, especially when the defense is behind the play and he can make the next pass to the next side of the floor.
We talked about it pregame, but you ended up actually staggering Oladipo and
Yep.
Westbrook. I'm just wondering your impressions on doing that after seeing it actually on the court.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I think the one thing with the staggering part is good just in terms of it gives us another guy to generate offense with maybe Ennis out there. We'll look to do some of that. I was really more anxious to see even Victor alongside Samajh there a little bit with both those guys handling the basketball, because I think there's a fine line with Victor where, if you put him at the point, I just think it's normal. A player's mind says, okay, I got to run the team now. And sometimes when you're at the two-guard spot, there's a mindset I can be a little bit more aggressive. And I've got to somehow help him through that a little bit. So I think having Samajh out there, too, they both could handle the basketball. I still would like for Victor to stay in that mentality of just kind of playing the game, regardless of what position you're at. And it doesn't really make a difference. If the ball's in your hand and you're a one or a two, you should be doing the same thing. You should be taking care of the ball, making a good decision, and trying to attack. And it doesn't make a difference what position you are. So, I thought Victor played well in the first half. I thought it was the best he's played since we've started the preseason.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.